Good morning, everyone. The provisional numbers have started to come. Federal Bank, 19.4% is the loan growth. Karnataka Bank came with a provisional number where the gross advance grew at 10% and deposit grew at 6%. And even GST collection came for the month of September. So it was higher by 26% at 1,47,000 crores. And even gas prices were hiked for domestic consumption. So Reliance got a very good hike. So Reliance will be in action, and even ONGC, Oil India, will be positive. But the user industries will have some impact. Maybe MGL, IGL, and Gujarat Gas will have a minor impact. Even this will have an impact on Morbi-based tile manufacturers also. Prime Minister Modi launched 5G services where Airtel will benefit immediately because they are there in the 8 metro cities, but Reliance Jio will now launch on Diwali. So the competition is neck to neck. So things will start moving for the two telecom operators. So Bharti Airtel can give you very good return, and 5G services to be enabled. Now you need connectivity and other things where two companies have updated. One is Sterlite Technology, which has unveiled 5G Cosmos to help Indian telco fibernize their network for 5G. And even Tejas network successfully demonstrated end-to-end network based onto its indigenous 4G and 5G wireless, optical and satellite product at the India Mobile Congress in New Delhi. So all these events happened in New Delhi in the India Mobile Congress. So I think these are positive for these stocks. NMDC iron ore production was higher by 1.5% to 7.73 million ton, and even the sales is higher by 6%, positive for NMDC. In a very bad news, Suzlon CMD Tulsi Tanti suffered a cardiac arrest and he has passed away. And today morning, Suzlon in a notification to the exchange has said the 1,200 crores rights issue will go on. Mumbai property registration, it has recorded a very good growth of 11%. You need to understand this is a Sharad month where people normally don't register. So the first 15 days was very dull, but in spite of it, year-on-year growth was 11%. Month-on-month growth was 1%. So 8,628 properties were registered. Graphite has closed on German electrode operation due to heavy gas prices. And it is restructured a specialty chemical in Europe. So slightly negative for graphite industries. APL Apollo came with a fantastic number. I think the stock will give you 8 to 10% return in a very short term. CME data has said unemployment rate has come down from 8.3% to 6.43% in the month of September. Positive for our economy. And crude prices have rallied as OPEC is going to meet to cut production, which is something we need to watch out for. But the way things have panned out, we need to understand that bank is one sector which will rally, once market stabilizes. Today the SGX NIFTY is showing some weakness, but once we recover, it will be led by banks and real estate because the numbers are pointing out to a different thing. And the Federal Bank CEO few days before mentioned that the loan growth is very good. This kind of loan growth I have never seen in the last 10-12 years, and it is reflected in their provisional number. So Federal Bank is one of our topic. With that, over to you, Brajesh.
Good morning, everyone. अभी हम ये कॉल को एक बार हिंदी में कर लेते हैं. स्टार्ट करते हैं बैंकिंग पॉलिसी से. जो बैंकिंग के जो मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी जो है जो फ्राइडे को जो हमने देखा कि 0.5% से उन्होंने ये रेट हाइक किया है. तो अभी है बैंकिंग 5.9% दिख रहा है. ये मार्केट के एक्सपेक्टेशंस के हिसाब से ही है और हमें एनालिस्ट का मानना है कि शायद हो सकता है कि दिसंबर में आपको और एक रेट हाइक देखने को मिल सकता है, 0.3 या 0.5 के ये देखने के आसार है। तो बेसिकली जो भी पॉलिसी आए वो मार्केट एक्सपेक्टेशंस के साथ ही था। आगे अगर आप देखते हैं सीपीआई के बारे में बात करते हैं, सीपीआई डेटा के बारे में, तो हो सकता है कि वो 5% जो रेस हुआ है ओवरऑल वो मेंटेन करके रखा है 5% के हिसाब से। तो सीपीआई का जो डेटा वो फ्लैट है। आगे जो हमारा एनालिस्ट का ये भी मानना है कि हो सकता है कि बैंकिंग सेक्टर में थोड़ा सा जी सेक बॉन्ड की तरफ थोड़ा इंक्रीज आपको देखने को मिल सकता है। कॉर्पोरेट्स जो जो है वो शायद बैंकिंग से शायद थोड़ा सा जी सेक बॉन्ड की तरफ थोड़ा सा ज्यादा उनका इन्वॉल्वमेंट देखने को मिल सकता है। तो ओवरऑल बैंकिंग पॉलिसी पे हमारा पॉजिटिव व्यू है। जब भी मार्केट नीचे करेक्ट होता है तो बॉटम होते तो बैंकिंग ही सेक्टर रहेगा रियलिटी के साथ जो आउट परफॉर्म करेगा। तो हमें हमारा फेडरल बैंक पे हमारा काफी पॉजिटिव व्यू है। फेडरल बैंक का लोन ग्रोथ वगैरह काफी अच्छा देखने को मिला है। तो हमें लगता है कि ये फिलहाल तो ये न्यूट्रल है और डिक्लाइंस में हमें बैंकिंग पे बाय 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 का व्यू रखना चाहिए। पर उसके अलावा ये जो बैंकिंग के जो क्रेडिट ग्रोथ है वो 15% ईयर ऑन ईयर देखने को मिला है, जो 15.1%, जो भी काफी अच्छा है। बैंक्स के डिपॉजिट्स एंड लोन ग्रोथ काफी प्रोविजनल जो नंबर्स जो आ रहे हैं वो काफी पॉजिटिव है। तो हमें लगता है कि आने वाले दिनों में बैंकिंग ही होगा जो काफी ज्यादा आउट परफॉर्म करेगा। जो हमारे जो टॉपिक्स है उसमें एचडीएफसी बैंक, आईसीआईसीआई बैंक एंड फेडरल बैंक है। फेडरल बैंक के नंबर्स भी एक्सपेक्टेड है। उनके जो ग्रॉस मार्जिन है वो शायद 19.4% से Q2 FY23 के हिसाब से होगा। तो बेसिकली इनके जो रिटेल के जो क्रेडिट ग्रोथ है ये इसमें काफी उन्होंने उछाल देखने को मिला है। डिपॉजिट्स भी बढ़े हैं, उनके लोन ग्रोथ भी बढ़े हैं। अगला अगला एक न्यूज अपडेट है आइनॉक्स के ऊपर, जो अभी रिसेंटली जो मूवी रिलीज हुई है तो वो दोनों के बिजनेसेस काफी अच्छे देखे गए वीकेंड को। और हम हमारे वैसे भी आइनॉक्स और पीवीआर की तो बाय रेटिंग है, तो हमें मार्केट में जो भी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलता है उसमें हम इसको बाय बाय के लिए देख सकते हैं। जी में एक न्यूज अपडेट है कि वो शायद उनका एक मेजर एंटरटेनमेंट चैनल जो है वो शायद वो क्लोज ऑन करेंगे। जी के मर्जर के चलते, जी और सोनी के जो मर्जर है उसके रिलेटेड है। ये जो क्लोज डाउन है वो सीसीआई ने बताया है कि शायद ये क्लोज डाउन आ सकता है। ये जो जो चैनल जो बंद करेंगे उनका 20 to 30% का मार्केट शेयर है। तो ये थोड़ा सा इम्पैक्ट कर सकता है टाइमिंग के लिए जी पे, बट लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए इतना नहीं होगा। बट टाइमिंग के लिए थोड़ा सा आपको इसमें इफेक्ट देखने को मिल सकता है। इसके अलावा हमें ऑटो के नंबर्स देखे हमने। ऑटो मोस्टली ऑटो के जो थे तो सितंबर में काफी फेस्टिवल सीजन होने के कारण भी काफी अच्छा सेल्स देखने को मिला था। पैसेंजर व्हीकल्स में काफी अच्छा ऑटो में देखने को मिला। मारुति जो था वो काफी स्ट्रॉन्ग था। वो लीडर था, उसमें करीब 1.76% से ग्रोथ हुआ है। और टू व्हीलर स्टॉक्स में अगर बात करें तो हीरो मोटो को थोड़ा फ्लैटिश देखने को मिला। हालांकि टीवीएस मोटर ने ईयर ऑन ईयर 8% का ग्रोथ देखा है। एशर मोटर्स ने 145% का ग्रोथ देखा है। और अशोक अशोक लेलैंड ने 84% का ग्रोथ देखा ईयर ऑन ईयर। ओवरऑल ऑटो पे हमारा बाय व्यू है। हमें लगता है कि ऑटो बैंकिंग के साथ ऑटो भी एक ऐसा सेक्टर है जो परफॉर्म कर सकता है। सिर्फ एमएनएम, बजाज ऑटो इनके नंबर्स आने बाकी है, वो शायद आज आ जाएंगे तो उसके बाद वो उसके उसके भी अपडेट्स मिल जाएंगे। और एक अपडेट है एपीएल अपोलो के ऊपर। उनके वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ और उनके जो नंबर्स आए थे काफी पॉजिटिव है। वो स्टील ट्यूब कंपनी है जो उनके जो फर्स्ट टाइम उन्होंने इतने अच्छे वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ देखे हैं। हमारा एपीएल अपोलो के ऊपर पॉजिटिव व्यू है। लेवल 67 का टारगेट है, ये हम मेंटेन करके चल रहा है। इसके अलावा और एक गैस प्राइसेस जो बढ़े हैं, जो बेसिकली जिसके वजह से रिलायंस, ओएनजीसी एंड ऑयल इंडिया पे पॉजिटिव व्यू हो सकता है, बट स्लाइटली थोड़ा कंसर्न हो सकता है एमजीएल, गुजरात गैस, इस पे आईजीएल, इस पे थोड़ा सा स्लाइट थोड़ा सा नेगेटिव या साइडवेज कॉशियस व्यू करना चाहिए। होता क्या कि गैस फ्यूल की वजह से ये सिरामिक कंपनी जो है, जो टाइल्स वगैरह बनाते हैं, उनके प्रोडक्शन के ऊपर उनके कॉस्ट बढ़ जाते हैं। तो ओवरऑल तो हमारे लॉन्ग टर्म पे तो काफी पॉजिटिव है, लेकिन शॉर्ट टर्म में हो सकता है माइनर ये गैस प्राइस इंक्रीज होने का इस सिरामिक कंपनीज के ऊपर थोड़ा सा आपको प्रेशर देखने को मिल सकता है। इसके आगे एनएमडीसी के नंबर्स आए थे, इसके नंबर्स काफी अच्छे थे, सेल्स भी बड़े हैं, तो एमएनएम के ऊपर एनएमडीसी के ऊपर भी हमारा पॉजिटिव व्यू है। और उसके बाद प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने हमारा 5G के लॉन्च किया है। जो 5G के लॉन्च में बेसिकली भारती एक ऐसा है जो इमीडिएटली जिसको बेनिफिट होगा, क्योंकि उनका प्रेजेंस ऑलरेडी 8 सिटीज में है, मेजर सिटीज में। और अगर जियो का बात करते हैं तो वो जियो लॉन्च करेगा 5G सर्विसेज दिवाली में। तो इनका टफ कॉम्पिटिशन है, इमीडिएट बेनिफिट शायद भारती को ही मिलेगा, तो भारती पे काफी स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉजिटिव व्यू है। अगला एक न्यूज है सुजलॉन के ऊपर। सुजलॉन के जो सीएमडी है, उनको कार्डियक अरेस्ट की वजह से वो ही इज नो मोर, तो उनका और उन्होंने एक्सचेंज को अपडेट दिया है कि उनका जो 1200 करोड़ का जो राइट इश्यू आने वाले, वो उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा, तो वो वैसे ही देखने को आपको मिलेगी। अगला एक डेटा मुंबई के प्रॉपर्टी के ऊपर है। हालांकि ये जो सेशन जो मंथ चल रहा है, उसमें नॉर्मली फर्स्ट 15 डेज में प्रॉपर्टी के इतने नहीं होते, तो मंथ ऑन 1% और 1% के ग्रोथ देखने को मिले। जबकि ईयर ऑन ईयर प्रॉपर्टी के जो मुंबई में जो वो 11% के ग्रोथ देखने को मिले। ग्राफाइट्स के भी नंबर आए हैं, तो ग्राफाइट्स के नंबर में थोड़ा सा नेगेटिव व्यू है, थोड़ा कंसर्न है, कॉशियस व्यू मेंटेन करके चल रहे हैं हम लोग। इसका अगला एक डेटा आया है, वो सीएमए डेटा है, जो एम्प्लॉयमेंट के ऊपर। जो एम्प्लॉयमेंट का डेटा का थोड़ा सा उसमें ग्रोथ देखने को मिला है, तो हमें लगता है कि ये इकोनॉमी के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से थोड़ा पॉजिटिव रहेगा। तो ओवरऑल मार्केट पे थोड़ा सा कॉशियस व्यू मेंटेन करके चलते हैं। लो पे जब भी मार्केट सपोर्ट पे मिलता है, तो हम लोग बैंकिंग और उसके बाद रियल्टी स्टॉक्स और उसके बाद ऑटो, ये काउंटर्स पे हम ध्यान रखते हैं। तो कॉशियस व्यू थोड़ा बहुत पकड़ के चलते हैं, और सपोर्ट्स पे हमें लगता है कि बाइंग करना चाहिए।
Technical derivatives update. On Friday session, if you see the index opened on a negative low, and it witnessed a roll on around 16,750 odd levels. And after post policy meeting, and there were no surprises by the RBI, we saw a massive short covering in the index, and especially banking sectors took a lead and strong bounce from the lows. And whereas FMCG and oil and gas are also at the marginal gains only. So index with the short covering rally in the index jumped over 17,000 in the second half, and then we moved towards 17,100. But from 17,100 we also witnessed some profit taking also, and closed around near 17,100 levels only. And if we see then technically the bias is remaining bullish, and we could see more such bounces up to 17,300 and 17,500 zones. And on the flip side, if we see that 16,800 should be a temporary support for the index. If we break 16,800, then there could be a structural change in the upside momentum also, and we could be facing hurdles near 17,400 or 17,000 levels. And on the Bank Nifty front, if we see, then Bank Nifty also witnessed on the Bank Nifty front also, see, we witnessed in all the major banking stocks, and there was a sharp rally in all the all the banking stocks also. So banking stocks also we remain sideways only, and we feel that extension to be nearer 300 to 500 points on the upside cannot be ruled out, and the support can be seen around 37,300 and 36,800 levels. This should be the ideal and crucial support for the Bank Nifty. On the option front, if we see, then 38,500 is the main support for the Bank Nifty, and on the call side, if you see, then 39,500 should act as a hurdle. And in the Nifty, if you see, there was a short covering tune of 16.5%. That is a reduction of 2.58 million shares. And on the advanced decline front, if you see, then 169 stocks were on the gaining side and 26 stocks on the losing side. PCR also massively jumped from 0.75 to 1.22. And on the Nifty, if you see in the options fund, 16,800 and 17,100 were the put writing zones where we could see the supports over there. And on the option call option fund, if you see then 17,200, 17,500 saw major additions on the call side. And Bank Nifty also added a massive short covering in that, massively short were covered in that to the tune of 19%. That is around 5.4 lakh shares. And the top three long bottoms were seen in India Cement, McDowell, and Torrent Pharma, whereas shorts were seen in Dabur, Gujarat Gas, and ICICI. And if you see to FIS stats, then FIS in the cash market sold to the tune of 1565 crores, and DIS bought to the tune of 3245 crores. And on the futures front, if you see, then they added again long position of 7500 contracts. Overall, they are still short in the market by 1,14,389, and their long short ratio just jumped from 13% to 16% odd levels. And if you see today's morning session also, SGX is indicating there could be a gap down of 130 odd points. But if we see that if 16,800 and this 900 is held, then we can again witness and bounce from those levels. So that's it from mine. I'll hand over to Vishal sir for more updates. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning. So to start off with the RBI policy, so in line with market expectations, RBI has raised the repo rate by 50 basis points to around 5.9%, and thus this has resulted in overall increase of around 190 basis point since the first hike in after the COVID it has started. Further, the CPI inflation expectation has been maintained above 6 odd percentage point, but what we have seen is GDP growth rate forecast they have reduced from 7.2 to 7 odd percentage point. Overall, I think what we could gather is the increase in the repo rate overall. I mean, it has had a positive bearing on the NIMs of the banks, and that's why we have seen a pretty strong recovery in most of the banking stocks. If you look at the second data which came out, which is not that negative. Another is credit growth after touching a new high. It was slightly lower, but again 15% kind of credit growth rate data has been maintained even in the month of August. And service industry, I mean segment wise, service credit growth and industry credit growth has continued to surprise on the upside. Deposit growth also saw a marginal uptick of around 67 basis odd point. Overall, I think if you look at the credit growth and overall the NIMs improvement after the our repo rate, it has a positive bearing on the banks, and our amongst the banking coverage, our topics remain HDFC Bank, ICICI, and Federal Bank. Federal Bank has announced the business update for the Q2. The bank gross advances has grown by around 19 percentage point, and it was pretty healthy, and wholesale book has grown by around 20 odd percentage point. If you look at the deposit growth, it was around 10 percentage point. Overall, I think if we look at numbers point of view, we expect company will report a strong set of number. Only thing we need to watch is NPA and the provisioning part. Overall, on the operational side, the numbers are pretty good for the Federal Bank in Q2. We have a buy rating, the target price of 120. Next, we have released our preview expectations for the IT sector. What if you look at the note that has been published, so what we are saying is there is a cautious commentary from IT players who have indicated that some of the clients are watchful for the ongoing macro situation. We expect in the note you would have seen we expect inflation and macro to have impact on the revenue and the margins post 2 quarters, which is probably in the first quarter of next year the impact could be seen. In the current quarter, we are expecting large cap to register the dollar growth rate of around 2 to 6 percentage point on quarter-on-quarter basis, and among mid cap the growth rate could be around 0 to 5 percentage point. If you look at tier 1 margins are expected to improve, but only thing to watch is how exactly the commentary will be in the coming quarter, because overall the macro situation has weakened, and the export industry vis-a-vis 2 segments of the market, which is the domestic and the export industry as such, it has got impacted. So that only thing needs to be watched, what kind of commentary gave. We still prefer to be on a safer side, to be with the large caps, and Infosys remains our best bet in the market. Next is on Cyient. So if you look at the board of directors has approved the formation of some subcommittee to evaluate a spin-off. And if you look at this business is witnessing a decent order intake at around 70 odd percentage, and we believe this spin-off will be positive for the company and will provide an opportunity for the company to focus and grow this business. We currently have a buy rating on the stock with the target price of 930. Next is on media side. So a couple of new releases which got in the PVR and in the multiplexes. PS1 and Vikram Vedha, they have done pretty well in terms of collection. PS1 has collected around 150 odd crore and Vikram Vedha around 37 odd crore. So this bodes well for both the multiplexes, which is PVR and Arnox, and we continue to remain a positive view on the counters. Next is on Z. So Z has, though it's not a rated stock for us, so Z has offered to shut down one of its major entertainment channel. This comes in response to the concerns raised by the CCI regarding the ability to have a combined entity, which is Z and Sony. This channel has a massive market share of around 20 to 30 odd percentage point, and I mean, like, you know, if a closure of this Z Entertainment major it happens, then probably we can see the market share will move to the other peers. If you look at prima facie, this is negative development for Z, and because since the company has like, you know, pretty strong set of market share, and the closure of this will have a bearing on the weakness of margins. So that thing is negative for the stock. Next is on Century. So Century Limited has acquired the entire shareholding of Century Adhesive and Chemicals. The acquisition cost is like minimal, so we don't expect any major bearing on the stock as such. Next, I think there has been a volume update for APL Apollo. So APL Apollo has reported a pretty a strong set of volume growth. And if you look at in terms of business, so India APL Apollo is a leading branded structural steel tube company, and in terms of registered sales, so they have done a volume of around roughly around 6 odd lakh in Q2, and this is the highest ever quarterly sales volume the company has reported. And we continue to have a positive view and a buy rating on the stock. Next is on ceramic industry, which is on the negative side. Natural gas prices has been increased sharply by around 40 odd percentage point to the record high on Friday, and this has a bearing on ceramic industry, because if they are not able to pass on the prices, then the margins will get impacted. So that thing in terms of stocks wise, so that negative bearing could be on Kajaria, Somani, and Sanitary Ware. Then last thing from my side is on auto numbers. So most of the companies, they reported, barring few, most of them they've reported number. Yes, sorry. In terms of PV, I mean, like, you know, pretty strong set of numbers at an industry level. The volume growth is around 91 percentage point on YoY basis. Maruti has been the leader in this, and their volume growth, though the base has been a bit lower, it has grown by around 100 percentage point on YoY basis. Hyundai Motors, even on month-on-month basis, Maruti numbers are up by around 7 percentage point. Hyundai Motors, if you look at, the volume growth is pretty strong at around 38 percentage point. Maruti, the volume growth is around 86 percentage. In two-wheeler, Hero Moto sales stood flattish, and TVS Motor volume growth was around 8 percentage. Eicher, which is like, you know, if you move to a commercial side, then Eicher and Ashok Leyland, they have reported a pretty strong set of number. Eicher is up 145 percentage, and Ashok Leyland 84 percentage. So overall, I think if you look at segment wise, PV has done pretty well, and then in two-wheelers the numbers continue to remain soft. And now a couple of companies which they report numbers today include M&M, Bajaj, and Honda, and we'll update more post that. Yeah, that's it from my side, and I'll hand it over to sir.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. Few updates from my side. First update on Sterlite Technology. The company yesterday launched its first India's multi-core fiber and cables. This breakthrough innovation will change the optical connectivity landscape of India. So the product is expected to play a vital role in 5G scale-up. So this is a positive development. So stock might react on this. Next update on Bharti Airtel. Bharti Airtel's 5G service available on 8 cities. So with this, Bharti Airtel has become the first company to launch 5G service in the country. So 5G from Airtel will be available in 8 cities: Delhi, Mumbai, Varanasi, Bangalore, and other cities. So next update on Reliance Industry. Reliance Jio will launch the budget laptop priced at $184, so 15,000 Indian rupees. With an embedded 4G SIM card. So company is aiming to replicate the success of its low-cost Jio phone in India's highly price-sensitive market. So two sources told Reuters. So the Mukesh Ambani-led conglomerate has partnered with global giants Qualcomm and Microsoft for the Geo book, and with the former powering its computing chip based on technology from ARM Limited, and Windows OS Maker providing support for the same apps. So next update on Coal India company. Coal India continuing to maintain its double-digit growth in production of beginning financial year 23. Coal India Limited closed the first half of the current fiscal with 299 million tons output, and supply to power plants by increased production and higher loading have risen sharply to 285.5 million tons in the first half of financial year 23. So achieving nearly 43% of fiscal 700 million ton production target in the next 6 months. So companies are aiming to close on the rest in the second half. So customarily, Coal India is the second half of the fiscal production yield is much higher than the first half of the fiscal. Next update on Bank of Baroda. CCA has cleared Bank of Baroda's proposed acquisition of 20% stake in India's first life insurance. So the transaction involves the bank's acquisition of 21% stake holding of the India's first life insurance company limited from Union Bank of India. So according to an update on the CCI, this website, the deal has been approved. Last update on the oil company. So the basically government cut the windfall profit tax on locally produced crude oil and diesel on Saturday. So in line with fall in international rates and scrap the levy on the export of jet fuel with effect from the October 2. So the government reduced the tax on domestically produced crude to 8,000 per ton from 10,500 per ton. So that's it from my end. Now I will hand over to Prabhakar sir for further updates. Thank you and over to you.